What's up, guys? Node Investor here. Taking a look at the big three real quick: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So if you missed it, that was a quick live stream yesterday looking at Bitcoin 9,000, and it just continues to power higher. Here we are on Bitfinex. Bitcoin just under $9,400. I think I'm going to have to do that 10K party here pretty quickly. Is Bitcoin going to hit 10,000 before December? Well, it's not that far away. If you look at the percent basis on this, from this point up, Bitcoin would have to move, let's say around 6 to 7% to reach 10,000. 10,000 is just a huge milestone. I mean, think about where we started this year. 10,000 is going to be a big psychological number, a huge number that's going to just draw a lot of attention to Bitcoin. And will we see it before December? I think there's a very good chance that we will. We can see 10,000 in the next couple of days. And meanwhile, the alts are trying to keep pace with Bitcoin. We'll look at some of these other ones, but we're starting to hit some new highs in a handful of other names. There's some smaller ones that are breaking out, but with Bitcoin just powering higher right now, a lot of funds are just coming back into Bitcoin. Once we broke above that little base we put in around $8,300, $8,400, it just had a very quick move from that point up. And this was just a couple days ago, but from that point up, here we are, already 13% higher on Bitcoin, and continues to look strong. Now, if we zoom out a little bit and take a look at the broader chart for Bitcoin, there's the talk about it maybe going parabolic, hitting that parabolic blow-off top, as we call it, but we're a little bit away from that, in my opinion, but we are certainly, that is a possibility as Bitcoin continues to move higher. You can see this J curve, as they call it, starting to take place, where the lows are just becoming higher and higher. We're starting to see this curve, and if we hit that scenario where we do a parabolic top, 10,000, it's going to look like a smaller number, because during a parabolic top, you can see the number really just start to take off. You could see 11,000, 12,000, 15,000 very quickly. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens here between now and the end of the year. But for now, we take it one day at a time, looking at the charts. Bitcoin, it's not, it's starting to reach a little bit of an extended area from a 4-hour perspective, but on the daily, it's really not. And that's what I've been talking about here, is this RSI is still low. It gave us plenty of room to run before the RSI starts to get a little overextended. And so we could certainly hit 10,000 before it's anywhere near the overbought conditions on the RSI. So on the 4-hour chart, we've had a very nice run. Just look at all these green candles, super strong, good volume coming in. It looks like it wants to pause right around this 9,500 area, but like I said, 5, 6, 7% away is not a lot. But right now, RSI is about 84, 85, so we'll see how this continues over the next couple of days. But I have a feeling I'm going to be doing that Bitcoin 10K party here pretty soon. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. Looking at Ethereum. So Ethereum on the USD chart first has been putting in a nice little pause, letting that moving average catch up on that 4-hour chart, and now just looking like it wants to start heading higher again, make new highs on this. 500 Ethereum is very well within reach. If we look at the daily chart here, it's just been super strong. It needed to pause a little bit. It looks like it's doing that here. And we could see 500 here pretty quickly. Which one will go first? 500 Ethereum or 10,000 Bitcoin? I'm thinking we're going to see 500 Ethereum first. On a percent basis here, 500 from the current prices, 5% away. That's a nice milestone for Ethereum. Has had a very strong move once it broke out, and it broke out two different ways to look at it, and I covered this in the live stream yesterday. There's the descending trend line that was acting as resistance. Once it broke above that, right around that 320 mark, 330, that was really the signal to start moving in on this. And then it broke the old high right around that 400 area, and from there we had a very quick and very fast move to the upside. And it's just pausing right now, continuing, but there's certainly no sell signals on this one yet. It's just been very strong, and Ethereum's looking like it wants to go higher. Taking a look at Litecoin, here's another one that rallied right up to the old closing highs. Now you can see we did have an intraday high a couple months back where it did go over that $90 area, but right now we're right at the old intraday, the old closing high on the daily chart. and it's pausing there very constructively, holding up, and it looks like it's just taking a little bit of a breather. On the 4-hour chart, you can see this moving average catching up, and I mean, it's not going to take very much to break above this, and I think we're going to see new highs in Litecoin here very soon. And the big three are just very strong here in the last couple weeks. Bitcoin breaking out, Litecoin, Ethereum, very strong. And so from a portfolio perspective, these are the top holdings in my account right now from a long-term holdings, and they continue to be just marching up nicely and steadily. You're not seeing some of the huge gains that you're seeing in some of the smaller alt names, but these are just very nice, very steady gains. And so far looking good. I'm thinking we're going to see over $90 Litecoin here pretty soon. And then at that point, it's going to be blue sky breakout for Litecoin. And there's just kind of no telling how high it's going to go before it wants to pause at that point. So the old intraday high was right around $97, $98. And so we'll see if it can clear that on a breakout. So taking a look at some of the altcoin names. I was covering this one yesterday. You guys were asking me about Vertcoin. And it had this crazy overnight pump as it got added to an exchange and just ran up. But look at where it ran up to. I put this line on the chart during that live stream talking about this is the next level. If it breaks above this, it pretty much blew through all of that in one shot. If I zoom in on the hourly, you can see right where it paused. And it always just kind of cracks me up when I see these, when they pause right out those lines, and it's just amazing to see that happen over and over again, these key resistance points. And I'd like to point that out, that I was talking about price and volume action are really the most important indicators you can learn how to use on a chart, and understanding patterns, trends, support, resistance. And very often you see these resistance marks get hit almost to the penny, and those tend to be good profit taking areas if you're trading these. And so it pretty much did that all in one shot. Right now it's kind of just pulling back. That was on a lot of news, and you saw a lot of profit taking showing up on Vertcoin. Another one I was talking about was EOS, and I mentioned if EOS was going to move up, this was the time to start doing it. It was right at that resistance point, support. If we zoom in at the daily chart, we were just letting the moving averages catch up. It was putting in this very nice little bull flag pause, and once it breaks that trend line, that was the move, and sure enough, it did it. Had a very big move to the upside in one shot. You can see once it broke that trend line, it went as high as 24%, 23%. Before pausing. Right now, if you zoom in on the 4-hour charts, it's just giving you a little bit of a pause, secondary entry, but that's a good breakout. So that's a good breakout from this little consolidation it's been putting in for the last couple of days, breaking out, letting the moving average catch up. So if it can sit tight here for another few hours, we could continue to see some more upside on EOS. And that's just been one of the very surprisingly strong names here in the last couple of weeks. Had one of the early movers, gave you a couple of secondary entries, ran up, another one here, broke out, and this is the most latest one, and we're just continuing to march higher very strongly on this one. So keep an eye on this. Right now where it's run into is a big resistance point. Finally, you can see it right here, right around that mark, and that's really where it's sitting tight right now. So if it can break above that, there's not a lot of resistance for a couple of levels up, and so could continue higher and give some large percent moves. Taking a look at some of the others, so Neo, Omise Go, Stratus, some of these other names we're watching. From a US dollar perspective, you look at the chart and they're holding up fine. They're looking okay. They're holding this support level. Go into Omise Go here real quick. Same thing, was breaking out, sitting tight, just kind of letting the chart consolidate here. But if you look at these from a BTC perspective, you can see they're taking a little bit of a hit as Bitcoin just continues to rally. Just in the last couple of hours with Bitcoin rallying a little bit, they're holding up. They're not rallying as much as they were a couple days ago, and just a lot of funds are moving out of Bitcoin. There's Omise Go versus BTC on the daily. You can see on the 4-hour chart here, once Bitcoin started to get going again, pulling in a little bit, but not drastically. I mean, it's a good pull in, but so far they're holding these key support levels. So if we continue to see that, once Bitcoin takes a pause or pulls in a little bit, you can see some of these altcoins really start to rally. And finally, Bitcoin Cash, a name that just has been sitting very tight, very strong while Bitcoin is rallying, and you can see it's starting to move up again here versus BTC. Gave a little bit of a pullback, looking like it wants to start to break this downtrend. So keep an eye on Bitcoin Cash. This is a name I've been watching here, and I think it's just going to hold up very well. I mean, these two are moving back and forth, And just in the last couple of days, Bitcoin Cash certainly has pulled in a little bit with Bitcoin rallying, but it's sitting pretty tight here. So if we can get above this trend and start to move higher, that's going to potentially give you another leg up in Bitcoin Cash. So on the USD chart, if you're watching this, the good breakout point here, right around that 1720, 1730 mark. Once it starts to break out above that, I mean, that's really right at the old daily highs here. And you can see on a daily chart, this really is new high. We had that big intraday pump, which gave us that $2,500 day, but on a daily chart, it's just starting to stair step higher. And if we go back to the 4-hour chart here, you can see the old highs back here is really right where it's at, and that's the level to be watching here on the hourly charts. So this area right around that $1,800, $1,900 area, if it really starts to get moving, that's going to be the test to see if it gets above. And then, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of resistance here because these moves were very quick, very short-lived intraday highs. And so right now it's just moving up strongly, and this is giving you a nice little base here and looking like it wants to break out here. So keep an eye on Bitcoin Cash. It's looking very strong in the face of a 10K Bitcoin, and we'll see how these two start to interact as Bitcoin continues to make new highs. So that's going to be it for now, guys. I have a feeling you'll be hearing from me on a live stream pretty soon. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. Until next time, take care.